Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my channel, and we are back in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Here we are. I've flown 9 hours. So we're back to look at the controller options for the DualSense, PlayStation 5 DualSense. Now, quickly, I'm going to do this. So the only thing I would recommend you change on your keyboard is your radio, because I always use the keyboard at the same time. And on the ADF stuff, I think, yeah, I put all the ADF choices on the number pad. It just makes it a lot easier for me when I'm playing, because my right hand can go onto the keyboard and I can make these choices straight away. One thing I would suggest, the mouse stays the same. The controller, this is how it works for me. Now this is just in order for you to set up to fly a non-airliner. This is just basic airplanes. Okay, this is everything you need to fly basic airplanes. Now, a couple of the main things. The cameras, the main thing that I have, the way that the Microsoft works, X and Y, it's not X and Y, it is square and triangle. So it's because it's whatever, don't worry about it. But X and Y, it thinks X and Y is on the Microsoft control pad, if you know what I mean. So in fact, I'm going to get a Microsoft control pad out. The only reason why I don't use a Microsoft control pad is A, why should I? Because, you know, I want to use my PlayStation one, and B, it's absolutely knackered. So anyway, toggle the smart camera. The smart camera is what you need when it's showing you where to go, whether it's the airport or point of interest. So this is on, hold down X and Y, and that doesn't interfere with anything. You have to push both of those buttons and it will look at the smart camera for you. Reset any view, so the cockpit view, any view that you've got is always going to be on right stick. So you push down, right stick, right 3, that'll reset the view. Previous pilot position, D-pad up, next pilot D-pad down. That just shifts the whole view forward and then backwards whilst you're in the actual cockpit camera, which is where we are. Okay. The yaw axis, now this is just for looking, so all the look commands are on the right stick, whether you're in the internal cockpit camera or the external camera. Everything is on right stick. So when all of the aircraft movements are on the left stick, all of your looking commands are all on the right stick. Everywhere you are, it just makes it a lot easier. You just go in here, you choose RS, actually just move it left or right, and then you validate it, and then you either reverse it or you don't. Now I can't remember if that was reversed or not. I'm pretty certain it wasn't. But whenever you, these reverses, they work in a weird way. If it's wrong, just pause the game, come back in and just change the reverse axis. Okay, but you can kind of see it. Yeah, that's gonna, I'm pushing right there and it's going right, left there and it's going left. Now with the pitch axis, I want up to go down, so that's what I want, and that's how that works. And the other D-pad thing we'll have is the right and left, just for the quick view, cockpit left and right. Now I'll show you what these look like in a sec when we go through. So let's close that down. Well, you can just see that's what you want. This is, just remember, this isn't X and Y, it's square and triangle, square and triangle. And we'll be using a couple of these like double keys, because it's a good way of getting things added on without you, because you have a limited key function on the controller, obviously. Okay, external camera. The zoom up and down on the D-pad, nice and easy. Reset on the right stick, same as it always was. Same yaw axis and the pitch axis. Now whenever you're trying to look for these things, I've got them on assigned. When you're doing it, you'll have it on all. It's always good to expand them all, collapse them all, and then go in and find what you want. And what I always do is I always come in and just sort of collapse everything so it's not all in the way, and then just go through what I'm looking for. So if you're looking for a toggle smart camera, that's where it is. The reset cockpit view, that's where it is. You can just come through. If you expand and collapse them all again, you'll be doing this quite a lot. You can also just type in toggle, and it will bring up anything with the word toggle in it. So I do that quite a lot as well when I'm trying to find things. If you're looking for the engine controls, there you go, bring engine, come down to what you want. There's the ones we want. We'll get to that in a bit. So just navigating around it it's a bit funky, but you'll be all right. So let's get back into what we're doing. External camera, pretty much the same. The only thing that we've got in there is up and down. We don't use the D-pad left and right of the external camera. Now the fixed camera, it's always nice to have this on. So you need to have a toggle for the fixed camera, and I've got it on B and Y, which is circle and triangle. So as you fly, you can usually press both of these buttons with, you know, your thumb or whatever. So circle and triangle will toggle you into the fixed view, and then if you hold down circle, which is B, but it's not, it's circle, and then you use the D-pad left and right, you can cycle between the fixed cameras, and then when you're done, you have to then toggle back out of it with circle and triangle. Okay, so that's a nice little thing. On the plane I'm going to show you, there's only 2 camera angles, but whatever, you usually get a lot more. Camera mode switches, the only thing we're going to do is switch between the cockpit and external view with the left stick, and you'll use that at load. So your right stick always resets the view, and the left stick will switch between inside and outside the airplane. Cool beans. So we can close camera down now, go into instruments, engine. The only thing we want is auto stop and auto start engine. It depends on what you've got your settings on, but I have mine pretty much all on medium, so I have to start the engine myself, do various different things. So A and X to engine auto stop. It's not A and X, it's X and square. So this is X and square. Okay, so just remember that these are Microsoft friggin' buttons, but you just have to do your own. Okay, so it's X and square, and to start the engine it's X and triangle. So you just hold those both down. X and triangle is in a weird place. Obviously it's the bottom button and the top button, but because you only ever do it at the very beginning of your flight, you just click them and then off you go, it's on. And then when you stop, it's the other way around. I tried to put them on the same. I tried to have the start engine and the stop engine on the same, but every time you stop the engine, it started the engine straight away. As you can imagine. Anyway, that's that. Flight control now, the important things. Now this, you've got to play around with this because they've changed how the game kind of works with regards to rudders. You can have it so that the rudder centralization is handled by the computer. There's a couple of things you can do, but anyway, I put the rudders on the right trigger. A lot of people use the triggers for acceleration and deceleration, but this isn't a driving game. This is a flight simulator, and it's not. You don't change your engine speed that much. You certainly don't brake, you know, that much. So you use the triggers for the axis, for the right and the left rudder. So if you pull the right trigger, the plane will swing around to the right, and if you pull the left trigger, the plane will swing around to the left, and that's why it's on reverse. That's how it works. If it's doing the wrong thing for you, you just switch these reverses around. But again, that's on the right trigger, not on the left trigger. And when you do it, it'll say, "Are you nuts? Why would you put right trigger on that?" Well, it's not done it, but it did it to me the first time. Why didn't it do it? What? Let's clear the character and validate it. Oh no, don't disappear. Good. It would have disappeared. Oh well, whatever. Usually it pops up and says, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do that?" The elevator axis is your pitch, which is what you want. So your elevator axis is your pitch. It's the back wing on the tail that makes you go up and down. I have it on left stick, obviously. Left stick, and you just push left stick up, validate, and then when I push up it goes down, and when I push down it goes up, which is how I want the plane to work. When I push up on the left stick, the nose goes down, okay, and mine isn't reversed at the minute, and I'm sure that will work. I'm not sure if those reverses like reset themselves. In fact, I'm going to check it now. No, they don't. They should stay there. So same with the ailerons. When I pull left on the on the left stick, the plane will turn to the left. Right, it will turn to the right. So that's what you want. Your rudders will do your yaw, left and right, which is fine, and your ailerons. And I've put this center rudder thing in. So if you've got a plane that doesn't have an auto centering rudder, I've put this on, but I put it on to I think you put it on release. So you have to hold down both, and then when you let go of both, it will center the rudder. Okay, so that's what usually you would have these all on press, but on release, so it's not getting in the way of what you're doing. If you just don't worry, leave it on release, happy days, that'll work perfectly. Control trimming. This is just to trim the ailerons left and right and the elevator up and down. The elevator trim is the one you usually use. This is the one that you use to stabilize your level flight, and it's just X. Well, it's not. It's square. So all of these are on the square. So you hold down square, and then you push either up, down, right, or left. And that's the way you should actually do it as well. So you should always hold down the square button first, because nothing will happen when you hold down square, or when you hold down X, or when you hold down circle, or anything. It's waiting for another command. So you hold down square, and if you do up, it will trim up. If you do down, it will trim down. Right, it will trim the ailerons left and right. You really won't be doing that very much unless something really bad's going on, but it's there if you need it. So all of the trimming are on the square. So up, down, left, right, nice and easy. And the way you put them in, super easy. You put the D-pad in first, and then the X. Happy days. Doesn't really. Oh, I put it in the wrong one. Down and square. That's what you want. And it says X because it's the Microsoft. Don't worry about it. So everything on square, up, down, left, right will do all of your trimming, and it's a nice way. It's out of the way. You know that all of the trimming is by holding down the square button on the pad with your thumb. Easy peasy. Right, let's close these up so they're out of the way. Secondary control surface, it's just the flaps, and you only use these at takeoff and landing, really. And A button on a Microsoft controller, Xbox controller is the X button. On a DualSense, the very bottom button, hold down X, push up to increase flap, push down to decrease flaps. Nice and easy. But you need to put them in as the D-pad down first. So you have to put D-pad down, and then, so you would hold D-pad down and then push X, then validate it. Okay, same. So any of these, whichever way I've got them in here, that's the way you've got to do them. Okay, so that's your bits and bobs there. Now let's look at the lights. Wing lights, D-pad up, D-pad down plus Y. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna put D-pad, and Y is obviously triangle. The button at the top, and then we'll do down and triangle. Nice. Now hold on. The reason why I had it like that is because, yes, it's because when you're outside and you start pushing D-pad up and down, bad things are going to happen. But hold on, it doesn't happen when we do that. Because when you're outside and you push D-pad up, it's alright because you're holding down the button first. That's the main thing you've got to remember, is you just got to hold down the button first. So that's how you access, like holding down square and then having all the D-pad functions. You've got to hold down the button first, otherwise it won't work. But I'll show you when we get outside. Don't worry about it too much. So D-pad up down is wing lights and landing lights, and then your interior lights when you're inside. Cabin lights, I'll do it the same way just because I want it to look the same, and then we'll go and test it in a second. Not too bothered. So D-pad and triangle. Y is triangle. So all your lights are on triangle. So you know that all of your lights are on triangle, and you know that all of your trimming is on square, and you know that your flaps are on X. Very nice. I would say that's beautiful. Now the brakes. Now you only need to brake when you start and when you end your flight, and also when you're on the runway. And the way that I've got these set up is your parking brakes, similar to the engines, it's going to be square and circle. So B and X on an Xbox controller is square and circle. It's a weird configuration, and you would only push it with your 2 fingers when you're not actually flying, because you're on the ground, so it doesn't really matter. So it's square and circle to toggle parking brakes on and off, and then when you've actually landed and you need to slow down, with your thumb you can just hold down X and circle. B and A is X and circle. So once you've landed, hold down X and circle with your thumb, because you don't need to be using the right stick, which is the look command. Nice place to put them. Job done. We don't need that. Power management, what have we got? Throttle. Now, this is the other thing that people will be like, why have you got the throttle here? But it's there because it has to be. Increase throttle is right button, so the right bumper button. Decrease is the left button. To cut the throttle, you push them both at the same time. That will put your engine to 0. I think I might have that on release. No, I've got it on press. I wonder if I put it on release. Yeah, I think that sounds better on release. And then hold throttle reverse thrust is you hold both of these down, and that will be on press. So you'll be holding those down. Job done. And then the landing gear, the last bit, gear up, gear down. It's just the only button that's left, which is circle, which is B on a controller. Gear up is B and up, and gear down is B and down. Simple. So that is all of the buttons that we have. Totally gives you the full range of what you need to do. So let's just expand them all, and you can go through and look at them. Ideal to have like an Xbox controller, because X is obviously square, Y is triangle. It's just annoying that they, even though they know it's a DualSense, the picture that popped up, it was an Xbox controller. I don't know why they haven't fixed it. It's a bit weird. But you know, Sony versus Microsoft, what can you do? There's your external camera stuff. Nice and easy. All of this will be in the description anyway. Toggle cameras, camera mode switches. Every camera mode switch is LS is fine. Left stick. Engine, all we need is engine auto stop, auto start. Rudders on the triggers. Reverse these if you need to, if it's going the wrong way. Elevator on left stick up and down. Reverse it if it's not right for you. Ailerons on left stick left and right. Reverse it if it's going the wrong way. Center rudder is just release L and both of those triggers, which is cool. All of your trimming, the up and down, is square. It's not X, it's square up and down. Trimming the ailerons left and right is square left and right on the D-pad. Increase flaps is actually X and D-pad up and down. You use those takeoff and landing all the time. Lights, all the lights are on triangle at the top. So triangle up and down is toggle wind lights, landing lights. If you want to change these, you can change them to whatever you want. These are just the ones that I use if I'm flying at night. Cabin lights, if your airplane has a cabin lights, some of them don't. Left and right. Parking brakes is square and circle, and your brakes is X and circle. Well, circle and X. That's all good. The throttle we went through. Increase is right bumper, decrease is left bumper, cut it is hold them, push them both, and then reverse thrust is hold down them both. And you obviously reverse thrust when you're landing and you've landed too quickly. And landing gear is up and down. That's it. That's what you've got. That should give you everything you need to get off and take a flight. I did a little test flight in somewhere. Why don't we take off here from Shoreham, because this is near where I live. Ooh, 2 offers. Don't know what that's about. Set as departure, and where is there an airstrip? Swanborough. There you go. Set as arrival. Bosh. That's the. And I'm in the Piper PA-28 Warrior 2 because I've actually flown that airplane myself. Let's go. And we can see all the little bits and bobs that I've just showed you. I'm not going to do anything fancy like stick stuff on the screen or anything like that, but maybe I will. Who knows? Let's go fly a kite. Look at that, looks beautiful. Especially like all of this nothingness. Alright, here we are in the plane. So, whoa, let's get rid of all this crap. Bloody hell. Alright. So, the only problem you've got is that when it gives you these objectives, release the park and brake, etc., it gives you them, because it's Microsoft, it just will not tell you what you want. But we know that the park and brake is on square and circle, so I can push them both, pop, and it's done. And now it's trying to tell us to apply the throttle, which we will do. But let's just check out some of these settings first. So all the look commands are on the left stick, which is totally fine. And then when you're in the cockpit, anytime you're moving around, whenever you push right stick, it will reset where you're looking. In the cockpit, left right does quick view out that way, and it does quick view out that way. If you've not set that up, it's just D-pad quick view in the interior camera. I can't remember if I mentioned that. The pilot positions, here we go. You push up and then up, and it takes you straight into your menu, your panel, and then you go back and you can move forward, just kind of looking over the front as well. So these are the three on the D-pad, up and down. You can kind of switch between these, and as I said, you've got this normal view around. Reset with that. Left stick switches between external and internal every single time, and then obviously you can move around outside with the the right stick as well, as per normal. Left and right doesn't do anything, but you can zoom in with the D-pad back and forward. Ooh, that's a nice little flare, isn't it? And then reset again is right 3, push down on the right stick, there you go. Now if you hold down square and triangle, it puts you onto the fixed wing. There's the one fixed wing at the back, fixed camera. You can't move them around, you can't do anything. You can still fly the plane with your left stick, of course, and all the other controls, and you can cycle between the two on this. There's only 2 cameras, there's one there and there's one there, so that's all you get. Remember to push circle and triangle to get back out of it, and then we're off. Now the engine's already running because it's already running. We can just crack on. Right B, let's do it. Bosh. Engine at mega speed, which we really shouldn't do, but it's doing the biz for us. It's doing the biz. Let me just slow that engine down a bit. It's a bit much now, isn't it? Right, now we can take off. We're going way quicker than we need to, so we can take off. Now there's no landing gear on this airplane. Stay in line with departure runway during initial climb. Wants us to put mega throttle on. Cool, we stayed in line with departure. Now we're going to turn. Now we could actually do the rudders here. You can see the rudder changing there. It's actually making me turn much quicker. I don't even know what my cruise altitude should be. I've got no idea. But anyway, we're in. Let's get back in, have a little look around. There we go. Cycled over that bridge. Very nice. Ooh, lovely jubbly. Anyway, we're heading over there, which is where we're going. Now, let's get back out, reset what we've got, just so I can show you some of these things that are going on. So the rudder, it's on the trigger. You can just see when I push the trigger and it moves, and then I let go and it resets itself. The left trigger, push it that way, nearly crashes the airplane, but it resets itself automatically. Some of the airplanes don't actually have a rudder that resets, so you would have to hold both and then let go, and you can see it automatically kind of went back there. Can't see it when I do it like that. There you go, you see it? It actually locked itself in place, going to the right. That's why you have both buttons to fix it back. So you go that way. Whoa, push the wrong button. Oops. Yeah, you see I'm a professional pilot. Alright, let's fly back over there, that's fine. Now, all your different trims are all on the square. It seems like we're very nicely heading up. Let me just straighten this plane out a little bit. It needs to go up quite a lot. I think we're going a bit too fast, actually. Yeah, the engine is stupidly quick. Right, let's sort that back out. Right, that at least makes the airplane a little bit more easy to control. Alright, yeah, cool. Now it's going down too much, but that's fine. Let's get that kind of level. You can see the airplane wants to go down, so I'd want to trim that up. So I hold down square, trim that, trimming it the wrong way, trim it that way. That's the way I want to trim it. And you can see the trim now, you get the percentage at the bottom that tells you what you've got the trim on, which is really quite nice. It doesn't show you the aileron trim, I don't know why, but you would never really trim the ailerons. I did just kind of trim them a little bit, and I don't really know how it worked. But that's alright. Flaps you wouldn't use right now, but there you go, you put them on, hold down X, and do the thing. There you go, that's your whole shebang. You've got everything you need there to fly the plane. You can do whatever you want. We don't need to be doing anything else. I don't know how agile this plane is. Am I able to do like some kind of funky maneuvers? I'm not sure how much stress this plane can take. It gets very sluggish when you start. Look, you can actually do quite a lot. Didn't like that very much, though, did it? I mean, it's not. I mean, this is a workhorse of a plane. These are beautiful old airplanes, but check it out. It's amazing. It seems to have trimmed up too much there, but anyway, there you go. Enjoy. If things are not quite working, just give it a little switch up, a little move, a little change. But you know, beautiful. Beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. There you are. So that's it. We don't need to carry on with that. Let's get out of there. We'll get out of the flight. And I'll just do one last look at the all the settings. And there you go. Look at that Reno sale. Why does it all cost so much money? Who knows? We can expand everything that we've got assigned. Here we go. I'll just scroll through it. Cockpit camera, here we are. Remember, these X and Y, it references a Microsoft controller, so you have to just remember that that is square and square and triangle. X is square, Y is triangle. Unfortunately, there's no way around it. It's just the way it is. Just going to roll through these. Not a very good menu, this Microsoft, frankly. You see how it kept like juggering around everywhere? That was weird. So you control trimmings. There's your flight surfaces. Ugh, God. Sort your bloody menu out, Microsoft. Look at it. Ugh. Horrible. There's your cockpit camera again, external views, fixed camera, switch it back, camera mode switches, nice. And then a big gap, apparently. Okay, whatever. Oh God, fine. Well done, Microsoft. That's all you need, ladies and gentlemen. Get it done. Get it done. And if you have any trouble, then do something else. All right, take care. See you on the next one. Ratati tatati bye.